welcome to another exciting edition of Pt.A Show. Tonight, I have with me Honorable Barrister Thomas Okosun. The Honorable is the State Chairman, Action Congress of Nigeria, Edo State Chapter. He's here in Ireland for the International Law Conference presently happening in Dublin. Honorable, we are very pleased to have you here and have you with Pt.A Show.
My pleasure.
Okay. We've heard a lot about you. We've heard a lot about Edo State because of the special circumstances in Edo State. And last month or 2 months ago, there was an election in Edo State. And for the first time, the 18 local governments in Edo State were won by Action Congress of Nigeria, led by the person of Comrade Adams Oshomole. And which other person than you, the state chairman, can best speak on what exactly happened? But before we get there, I will be talking to you about your stay in Dublin. How has it been?
Well, my stay in Dublin has been very fruitful. I'm here essentially to attend our in the International Bar Association conference that is going on in Dublin right now. Lawyers from different nations of the world have gathered together right here in Dublin. And from us as lawyers, we believe in training at all times so that we can be aware of current happenings across the whole world, because the world is like a global village. So it's important at all times that we go for training and training. That's why I'm here, and it's been very, very fruitful.
And brainstorm.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah, but I can tell you that you people coming to Ireland has been a blessing to Nigerians in Ireland, because it is not all the time that Nigerians in Ireland and Africa as a whole, they are opportune to see their brothers or sisters who are in the position of power in Africa coming together at the same time. That has been, you know, a blessing and also a means of tourism for the Irish community. I won't say.
That's true. I agree with you. I very much agree with you, because on arrival here, I had the opportunity of meeting with a lot of brothers and sisters from Nigeria, and particularly from Edo State that I've not seen for a very long time. And for us, it's been a very fruitful stay, very fruitful in Nigeria. And so it's an opportunity, it's been an opportunity for us to exchange and have interactions as to what is going on back home, and the need for them to come home more often, so that they can be part of the progress that is taking, the progressive development that is taking place in Nigeria as well.
Okay. Honorable, how has it been, the weather? You know, you are from a very hot geographical region, and here you really can't predict the weather. Has it been sort of surprising to you? Or?
No, it wasn't surprising, because by the grace of God, I've traveled far and wide in the world, and for me, I just see this, even when they say this winter, I just want to say this is more or less like a spring, not winter, as far as I'm concerned. It'll be ranging between 15 and 14, 15, 16 and 17 and all that. But so it's been not too harsh, it's been friendly, but I think we're able to cope.
Okay, that's good. It's good to know that our weather is not a problem to you, because
a
lot of people are complaining of the cold, and you know, at least we can build on that.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah. Honorable, first thing, let's actually come back to you now. Could you tell the viewers briefly who is the man, Honorable Thomas Okosun?
Well, I really don't know. I think my life is a very simple life. First is that I'm a lawyer by profession. I'm chairman of Action Congress of Nigeria, Edo State Chapter. I'm a full-time member of the Edo State House of Assembly, a one-time speaker of the Edo State House of Assembly. And I was also the chairman of the Conference of Speakers in Nigeria. So my life is, I'm a married man, happily married man, and I live a very simple life. That just means a very good.
Okay, that's good. Okay.
Not much to say about myself.
That's good. I was very happy when I heard that you were the state chairman, Action Congress of Nigeria, Edo State Chapter,
Yes.
because we were afraid of what we were hearing, saying on Facebook and everything, that Edo State was now going into the state of this tribal segregation, that I am Ishan, he is Auchi, he is Benin, and we were comfortable about it, and we thought they were all political. But hearing now that the Ishan, which for one reason or the other were mostly affected by the PDP ACN division, hearing that you are from there, you are the state chairman of ACN, kind of gave me sort of consolation that at least we can build on that. At least there are some people who are trying to unify Edo State instead of dividing Edo State.
Well, I think Edo State, we are very lucky people because it's one state that is made up of people that are from, we are all from a homogeneous family. Edo State is, wherever you stay or wherever you claim to have come from, we know that we have our descent from the Benin Kingdom. That is the reality and nobody can question that or dispute that. So whether today we call ourselves Asian, Afema, or Benin, for me, one. And it was quietly demonstrated in the last elections, where the Congress governor, who will ordinarily say, oh, it's from Afema land, was overwhelmingly voted for by the Benin people. In fact, he had the largest number of votes from Benin, not minding the fact that the main opponent comes from Benin, and the Benin people say, no, as far as we're concerned, Adansadio Shimole has done very well. We do not care about tribe, where you come from, because for us, we're all children of the Oba of Benin. So I think that is a kind of divisive attitude from some political individuals who feel that it is the only way they can thrive is to bring ethnicity or division within the system. And so for me, it is for their personal interest and not the overall interest of the Benin man. Because for me, Edo is one. Not only is Edo one, it's just like when you find a man that is hungry. Hunger doesn't know where you come from, whether you are Benin, Ishan, or Afema. Poverty doesn't know where you come from. Yeah. You can't be poor, you can be a Benin man, be poor, Ishan man, be poor, and once you are poor, you are poor. So what is important is about development. And what we have had is that we have a party and a government today who is transforming the surface and those states in an unprecedented manner. Not only for in Benin City, not only for Esako or Afema or Isha. In the 18 local government of the state, there's not a part, a local government where you cannot feel the impact of the administration. And so when you come and say Benin, the question that a man would ask you is, okay, if you say Shimoli comes from Esako, now the roads that he's constructing in Benin, is he going to remove it and take it to his place? The man is not saying, where I come from Esako, let me develop only Esako, and at the expense of Benin or Ishan. No. For him, Benin is one, Edo State is one, and we have to develop Edo State. That is what is important to him, and that's what's important to the party. And so this was clearly reflected in the voting pattern in the last election. Like you rightly stated, in the last election, which took place on the 14th of July, our party, the Action Congress of Nigeria, presented Adansalo Shimole, won the 18 local governments in the states. And that's the entire local government in the states. We didn't lose one local government. That demonstrates something, that the people of Edo State do appreciate when they see good things. They appreciated what the man has done, and he spoke in one voice and said, look, thank you, we want you to continue what you're doing for the people of Edo State. So it has nothing to do with tribe.
Okay. And because you are here, and following what the question I asked before about the tribal, I will now ask you the following question on, do you think the Ishans have suffered from Oshomole's government because they did not support him in the first term?
No, absolutely. That's what makes Oshomole different. If you look at the cabinet or if you look at the people, the key players today in the party, you find that there are people who even worked seriously against ACN in 2007. Some testified against him even at the tribunal. But today they are key leaders in Action Congress of Nigeria. You see, politics is evolving. That's life itself. Life is about change. You see, so it has not to, and if the man had said, okay, Asian people didn't vote for me as I wanted, and so I will punish them, then I'm sure they wouldn't vote for him this time. They won't care because Asian people are very proud people. So, but luckily enough, we had a man who is detribalized, whose philosophy is about welfare of human beings, and it's not just about where you come from. It doesn't matter to him. The fact that they vote for him yesterday could make you vote for him today if he does well. And so, and indeed, he demonstrated that. There are several projects that we can name for you in this land that you'll be shocked. For example, I tell you that Irua Osugbenu Begun Road. Since I grew up to this, I think the road has been abandoned for over 40 years. Please, you can take a look and see what the man has done. That road is tarred now. Between now from Irua to Ubegun takes few minutes. Unlike you can't even pass the road before completely abandoned. So several other roads. If you go to Ewohim, you'll be shocked what is going on there. Look at the road between Igweben, Udo to Ewohim. These are issues. If you come to Ekoma, where even our Asian people tell us that you can't get water from. Today we have water flowing in Ekoma. Who did it? Adam Salo. Water is there now. Water is flowing in Ubiaja. Water is flowing in Igweben. And this is area where the water level, the water table is very far. And yet we're able to bring out water from the place because the man felt that for him, it is not by misfortune that God put us in this land. And so if you can get water on the land, there's no way you can get water. So for him, he had to bring in the best equipment to make sure that we're able to get water out of the land. And today, water is flowing there. So if he said, no, he wasn't going to do that, then he would have punished the people, and then the people ultimately would say, okay, let's let him be there. No. Being in government is not forever. Yeah. So I don't think he did not in any way punish the Asian people. And of course, you know, how could he have punished the people? I'm the chairman of the party. The Congress government is a member of the party. There is a leader, but I'm the chairman of the party. So I want to just disabuse the mind from whatever.
Yeah, I wanted to know because we hear that.
No, absolutely. There is not a, for example, in terms of appointment, there is not a single local government in Islam that does not have a commissioner. There's not a single local government. There's not a single ward in Islam where schools have not been rebuilt.
Okay. Honorable, another question that I would want to ask you is, following the fact that Ishan, previously known, was a PDP stronghold, so what exactly do you think swing the Ishan side of the state?
No, let me tell you something. I think the first thing that we have to look at is not just the Ishan. Edo State was under the control of PDP.
Yeah.
For for several years, yeah. For almost 10 years. And so, and the key leader of PDP in Edo State comes from Islam. So it was like, okay, while other people felt that there was opportunity, there is a need to change because the then PDP had failed woefully in Edo State across the entire local government. You know, it was like, oh, okay, new party had come, but it's like some people caught the vision earlier than the others, not because they didn't want to join, but for them, you think it's possible to uproot PDP, you think it's possible to uproot the political godfather who comes from Asia. In fact, the PDP godfather in Nigeria comes from Islam. So the question was, is it possible to uproot such an individual? Won't he use his federal might to win elections or rig elections? Because the truth is that PDP have been used over the years to rigging elections in that area. And so that is what you saw, not because they didn't want to vote ACN, no. And so, but with time, they began to realize that, this is a party we didn't vote for. The party has even come to do us well, is providing infrastructure facilities in spite of the fact that we didn't support it then. And you can see the development that is going on simultaneously across the 18 local government. So it was therefore clear to the Asian people and to everybody that, look, we have a responsibility to join this man to win this election. In the 2007 election, it was not only some people that did not vote for ACN. No. There are several other persons. But the percentage, look at this present election. In the winning, the percentage was 73% to 22%. So it was so massive. So that was just what you saw at the beginning, not because it was impossible or that they hated ACN, no, not at all.
Okay, it's great to know because you are in the best position to
clarify. Of course, I am
as a state chairman.
Yes.
And another thing you mentioned that I want to quickly ask you before I forget it, you talked about godfatherism. Is Comrade not practicing godfatherism when he holds on to the local government and not do election for the past how many years?
You see, this is the mistake that a lot of people make. I think it's important. Let me use this opportunity to explain this. I have done that severally in Nigeria and those two did not get it very clear. First is that when we came into office, election had been conducted and they were in position, and then, but there were new electoral acts. Electoral Act 2010, which was further amended in 2011. And that Electoral Act is such that before you can conduct election, you must give between 90 days and 150 days before you can conduct election. Now the law is simple. If you're a legislator and if you're a lawyer, you will understand that where a law made by a state is in at variance with that of the federal government, the one of the state must give way. In other words, you must then amend that law to bring it in conformity with the federal government law, which is the act. In Edo State, the electoral act, the electoral state independent electoral commission law is in at variance with the electoral act, meaning that you must then send this Edo State on to the House of Assembly for amendment. That's one plank. Number two is that before you can conduct an election, the state cannot on its own carry out voters registration. You will then rely on the voters register as provided by the Independent National Electoral Commission, which is a federal government body. Once they don't provide it for you, you cannot conduct election. So this is the key. And elections in Edo State or across the country, registration was done in 2011. And the voters register was not ready, and they were not ready to release it yet. Though it was used in the conduct of 2011, release it is one. Number two, let's amend the law. As I speak to you, the House of Assembly is amending that law. And then, once that is amended, then the voters register is now ready. Because in this last election, they gave us the soft copies. So all the political parties now have soft copies. So we have it. The State Independent Electoral Commission can now formally apply for a certified true copy of that for them to be able to conduct election. And to do that election, but they must make sure that the State House of Assembly passes the law. Before coming here, the House of Assembly has started taking that law. So once they pass the law, then they will give it to State Independent Electoral Commission to conduct election. That is one aspect. Number two, some even come and believe that it's the party, ACN as a party, that should declare the time of election. I say no, that is wrong. Because ACN and other political parties will participate in that election. So it's the State Independent Electoral Commission that is empowered by law to conduct that election. When they provide opportunity, time and the timetable, we will feature our own candidate, PDP and other political parties that are interested in contesting election. We sponsor candidates and we go out there to canvass for votes. So that is it. Thirdly, is that please take Nigeria as a whole. As I speak to you, over 27 states do not have elected council chairman. Of these 27, about 23 or so, or 24, 23 or so, are PDP controlled states. So these are some of the lacunas that you have in the Nigerian constitution. It would have been different if the state has the responsibility of doing their thing in their own way. Or if the federal government had provided opportunity, a particular framework where you cannot interfere. But unfortunately, it is so. So these are the issues. So it's not that brings me to the real question as to whether the comrade is not practicing Godfatherism. So it has nothing to do with Godfatherism. It's not Godfatherism, it's a matter of following the due process of law. So it has nothing to do with comrade, it has nothing to do with an individual, but with the institution.
Yeah, because I asked that question, because a lot of people are worried that when chairmen are not elected, it is very difficult, if not practically impossible, to run a fair, to have a free and fair administration when they are being controlled by the state, because they have picked them and put them in that position, and they virtually cannot do anything that would annoy the godfather who put them there.
Well, first, let me put it this way. It is not true that once you put them there, they cannot do anything. No. Because first is that the states do not control the resources that is accruing to the local government. No, the state does not touch it, has no right to interfere. Once the fund comes, it is distributed to the local governments as it is. Yes, I agree with you to an extent, in the sense that these people, they were not subjected to electoral process in which other political parties ought to have participated, and let it be that those who are in offices were elected by people, which is true democracy. But I have explained the constraints to you. Now, so that is not about Godfatherism. It doesn't mean because they were appointed that the state can then take their resources and put in the pocket. No, because otherwise the EFCC will not only watch you, will arrest, will use it against you. So every governor including other state governors, are very mindful of this, that any attempt by them to interfere or intercept the local government resources will land them in jail. Because a lot of people who today, who are a lot of ex-governors that are facing criminal charges by EFCC today, are facing that based on local government resources that they interfered with. So that is that. So I agree with you that it is better to have this, but that does not mean that the state can control it. Because if you read the Nigerian Constitution, you will find that the House of Assembly makes law, have a very strong hold on the local government administration. Which of course I have personally argued that since we have the legislative arm and the local government, they ought to have amended our provisions of the Constitution. Again, these are the shortcomings in the Constitution.
Well, it's good to get these things clarified when we see someone like you, a highly placed official of the ACN in Edo State. So it's an opportunity for the Edoites all over to listen to you and make up their mind on things that we normally discuss all over and not actually know where the truth lies.
Yeah, so you're right. You are very right. Absolutely right.
So, but I must say that congratulations, your honorable self and the whole ACN, because I thought the election that was done in Edo State was a pass mark that the Congress government was working.
Yeah, I think that the congratulations, yes, you might congratulate us, but rather I want to say that congratulations to the people of Edo State. Yeah, because the reason why I try to transfer it to the people of Edo State is that the ultimate beneficiary of the good governance that is being provided by Adam Saloshima and ATN is the people. Because when you have a bad governor or a bad leadership, you will ultimately be affected negatively. Now we have a good government that believes in the welfare of the people and in delivering on the promises it has made to the people, then the ultimate beneficiary is the people. And so the people now deserve to be congratulated that they have the man that they truly want that will serve them well in position of authority.
Yeah.